Hello friends, welcome to Coding Host YouTube channel. In this video, I will explain this program, find difference between some of the diagonals. So in the input, we will get a matrix. It means that we will get a 2D array of size n into n, and we have to find the absolute difference between the sum of the diagonals. Now let's see example 1. So in the example 1, we are getting n equal to 3. So we are getting a 2D array of 3 into 3. Now we have to find the sum of each diagonals. So first diagonal is this one, 1, 5 and 9. So 1 plus 5 plus 9 is 15. And next diagonal is this one, 3 plus 5 plus 7. So it is also equal to 15. So 15 minus 15 equal to 0. And in the output we will get 0. So now we will see how we can get these diagonal elements. So I have written here indexes of each element, like indexes of rows and columns. You can see that index of element 1 is 0 and 0. So index of element 1 is 0 and 0, and after that index of element 5, so its index is 1 and 1. So 1 and 1, and index of 9 is 2 and 2. So index of 9 is 2 and 2. So you know that in the 2D array we take two for loops I and j. So we can find these diagonal elements by writing a condition that if I equal to j, so that time we can find these diagonal elements. Now let's see how we can find this next diagonal elements. So here you can see that index of 3 is 0 and 2. So index of 3 is 0 and 2, and after that index of 5 is 1 and 1. So index of 5 is 1 and 1, and index of 7 is 2 and 0. So 7 index 2 and 0. For checking index of this diagonal elements, we have to use a formula. So that formula is if I plus j is equal to n minus 1, that time it will check that these elements. But you can see that in this question, you can see that expected time complexity is big of n. So it means that we cannot use nested for loops. Like if we take I and j for loop, like j for loop inside the I for loop, so that time complexity of this program will reach n square. So we cannot take nested for loops. So it means that for calculating the sum of each diagonal, we have to use a single for loop. So first I will make here two variables, int diagonal 1 equal to 0 and diagonal 2 equal to 0. So in these both variables we will store the sum of each diagonal. Now I will take a for loop for int I equal to 0 and I less than n and I plus plus. So now let's see how we can use a single for loop for finding the elements first diagonal. So I will write here like this, d plus equal to array of I and I. So by writing like this, it will find the elements which will have same index value at both these indexes, row and column. And after that we also have to find the sum of the another diagonal elements. For that I will copy this for loop, but inside of it I will do some changes. So d2 plus equal to array of I, and in this next I will write like this, n minus I plus 1, and in the last we will return the difference of the d1 and d2, but we don't know which will become larger, like d1 can become larger or d2 can become larger, but we have to return the difference in only positive integer. I will write here return math dot absolute d1 minus d2. So whatever be the difference, it will only return the positive value of the difference. Now I will explain you how this program is working. So I will start from 0. So I is 0, and after that it will check I less than n. So yes, I less than n. So d1 plus equal to array of I and I. So it will find the element at index 0 and 0. So at this index we have 1. So in the d1 variable we will get 1. After that I will become 1. Now it will find the element at index 1 and 1. So at index 1 and 1 element is 5. So it will add 5 in this d1 variable and it will become 6. After that I will become 2. So now at index 2 and 2 we have element 9 and we will add this element in the d1 variable. So here we will get 15 in the d1 variable. After that when it will become 3, this for loop will break. Now this next for loop will start and it will also start from 0. So first we will take this first index value which is 0. So first is 0 and after that n minus I plus 1. So n is 3, 3 minus I is 0, 0 plus 1 is 1 and 3 minus 1 is 2. So we will take the value from this index 0 and 2. We have element 3 and we will add this element in the d2 variable. So in the d2 variable we will get 3. After that I plus plus. So now index will become 1. Now it will take the element at 1 and n minus I plus 1. So n is 3 and I plus 1. So I is 1. So 1 plus 1 is 2. 3 minus 2 is 1. So it means that it will now take the element at index 1 and 1. So at index 1 and 1 we have element 5 and it will add this element in the d2 variable. So now here we will get 8. After that I will become 2. So now we will take the element at index 2 and n minus I plus 1. So I is 2. So 2 plus 1 will become 3. 3 minus 3 is 0. So now we will take the element at index 2 and 0. So at this index we have element 7. So now we will store 7 in the d2 variable. So now in the d2 variable we will get 15 and after that when the value of I will become 3, this for loop will break and after that we will return the difference of this diagonals. So 15 minus 15 is 0 and it will return 0. So you can see that for calculating the sum of the both diagonals we have used here single for loops and we do not have to use any nested for loops. So now let's run this program. So we are getting a error because I have taken here small n and the name of the array as a. So I will change the name from here. So I will write here a and here I will write small n. And now let's run this program. So now you can see that our program is running fine and let's submit the program. So you can see that our program is submitted successfully. Thanks for watching.